60 years ago this week, the Beatles hit #1 with Ticket to Ride. Let's get into it. I'm Michael Douglas. Welcome to Dr. Pundit, where we talk about music, not medicine. And on this edition of the show, I'll be talking a little bit about Ticket to Ride, the Beatles' 8th #1 hit that came out in the spring of 1965, hitting #1 in late May of that year, 60 years ago. On May 22nd, the jangly pop rock gem Ticket to Ride became their 8th #1 single on the Billboard Hot 100. And the song was mainly written by John Lennon, who did most of the vocals. Paul McCartney did the backing vocals and the harmonies. The song is sung from the perspective of a guy whose romantic partner is not really getting along with him and is getting ready to leave him. Ticket to Ride knocked Herman Hermit's #1 smash, Mrs. Brown, You've Got a Lovely Daughter, from #1 on the Hot 100. It spent a week at that position before being replaced by Help Me Rhonda by the Beach Boys. In the UK, it topped the charts there for 3 weeks in late April and early May of 65. Now, the Ticket to Ride single was released in April in the UK. The B-side, Yes It Is, the name of the song, was on the B-side of both UK and US versions, and the US edition of the single announced that would be part of the upcoming Beatles movie, 8 Arms to Hold You, which was, of course, retitled as Help. The song was obviously included in the subsequent soundtrack editions from the movie, and of course is included in the scene where the Fab Four are skiing in the Austrian Alps. In his 2021 book called The Lyrics, Paul McCartney revealed that the title of Ticket to Ride had a somewhat double meaning. John and I always liked wordplay, so the phrase, she's got a ticket to ride, of course, referred to riding on a bus or train, but if you really want to know, it also referred to the town of Ryde on the Isle of Wight, where my cousin Betty and her husband Mike were running a pub. That's what they did. They ran pubs. It was great fun to visit them, so John and I hitchhiked down to Ryde, and when we wrote the song, we were referring to the memory of this trip. According to a website called Beatles Bible, an archival interview with John Lennon was included in the 2000 book, The Beatles Anthology. And John said at the time that the band was exploring new sonic pathways with the song Ticket to Ride. Ticket to Ride was a slightly new sound at the time, Lennon maintained. It was pretty heavy for then. And if you go look in the charts for what other music people were making, you hear it now and it doesn't sound too bad, but it'd make me cringe. It's a heavy record and the drums are heavy too. That's why I like it. Now, in addition to harmony vocals and bass, McCartney contributed lead guitar to the song, and this marked the first Beatles track to be released that featured Paul playing lead guitar. Ticket to Ride was also the first Beatles song that was released that was over 3 minutes long. Ticket to Ride has been covered by many artists over the years, and one of the most noteworthy renditions is by the Carpenters, who released their version in 1969 and reached number 54 on the Hot 100 and top 20 on the adult contemporary charts with that track. Other artists who have done renditions of Ticket to Ride include artists as disparate as Mary Wells, Vanilla Fudge, The Fifth Dimension, Husker Du, and Echo and the Bunnymen. Pretty interesting stuff. And it hit #1 60 years ago this week on the Billboard Hot 100. I'm Michael Douglas. If you like what you see here on the channel, please don't hesitate to like and subscribe. And as the late great Barry White always used to say, let the music play. And I'll see you on the next episode.